Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 82. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach at Rethink Coaching, and I want to thank you for sharing your time with me. Time is our greatest asset, and the fact that you're willing to share your time with me truly does mean a great deal. So thanks so much for being here. I want to talk today about something that I heard someone say in the past couple of weeks that's really been ruminating in the back of my head and drew me to want to have this podcast and talk about it, because what they said I have heard before, yet it just landed differently this time and it hit me differently. I don't know if it's because of all of the stuff that's going on in our world, or if it just was the moment that I've been experiencing as a human being, but it landed differently, and that could happen for us just depending upon where we are in life and business. And really what they said was, your comfort zone is where your dreams come to die. And I had to sit with that for a minute, because I thought, do your dreams really die in your comfort zone? And the reality is, the way I look at it and the way that this was intended is, if we stay in our comfort zone, we are robbing ourselves of opportunity for growth. And without growth, our dreams do die. Unless you're living your dream and you're in it and you just want to stay there, you're at risk of your dreams dying. I don't believe anybody is 100% ever going to arrive into their dreams and not want something different or bigger. So I do hold the space that comfort zone is where your dreams can come to die. And I think, in the world that we're in right now, with a lot of uncertainty, a lot of changes, things are happening, whatever your beliefs are, whatever your affiliations are, it doesn't matter. There's just a lot of stuff going on. And right now, there is a temptation to play a little bit smaller, to play a little bit safer, to stay in your comfort zone, your comfort circle, because it's what you know. However, if we play small or stay in this little bubble for too long, we are going to rob ourselves of growth. Whatever is happening out there, whatever changes are happening, we're responsible for us. We can create our market. We can create our life. We can create the future that we want if we pay attention. But staying in that comfort zone or that comfort circle can cause you to play smaller. And playing smaller is not usually a good plan if you're someone that's looking to grow or to change or to live a different life or to have a different business. So I want to talk to you today about that. The thing also I want to talk about, which I find to be really interesting, is, we think about, here's our comfort circle or comfort zone, whatever you want to call it. I like comfort circle. So here's our comfort circle. Everything outside of it is outside of our comfort circle. But we treat everything outside of it with equal weight or equal impact on us, whether the thing outside of our comfort circle is right on the edge, just on the outside of the circle, or a mile away. We tend to treat them with the same level of impact, maybe the same level of fear. And that is a dangerous thing to do, because honestly, that little sliver that's right outside of your comfort circle, even though it is just millimeters outside of your comfort circle, can be the area of massive growth and opportunity for you. So I just want you to think, when we're talking about stepping outside of your comfort zone, we're not talking about way out here. We're talking about just right next to it, just directly butting up against it is outside of the comfort zone. And that might be the furthest you can go right now, yet it will still have an impact on you. So comfort circle is, everything that's familiar to you, your environment, your activities, your social groups, all of the things that provide a sense of security for you are living inside of what we are calling the comfort circle. And it does create a psychological safety net. I'm not going to lie. It can make it difficult to venture into unfamiliar areas where growth most occurs because on a psychological level, you're talking to yourself of the dangers, the dangers outside of it, what could go wrong. And so that comfort circle does provide a psychological safety net. Now, I will tell you this, it's one of those things that I always call a FSOS, false sense of security, because that psychological safety net that makes you feel really good is also the thing that's robbing you of growth. And so embrace it, just know what it is, but also know that it's a barrier between you and success. Now, why don't we step out of our comfort circle more often? It's simple: fear of change and fear of risk aversion or change. And, getting outside of that is risky. Sometimes when you do something different or do something bigger, there's a risk. There's a risk involved. Am I going to succeed? Am I going to fail? I'm really exposing myself. I'm doing something different. It's change. Change makes me uncomfortable. It makes me do things that I haven't done before. All kinds of things can be happening. And that fostered fear can keep you inside the circle. I always like to say, I think about my circle can be that of where you live with the iron gate, iron fence around you. It's locked you in and it's holding you in. That fear of change or fear of risk is holding you in. And the biggest growth and the biggest change is just right outside that gate. So embrace the fear. That within itself, my friends, that is the big one. Fear of change and risk aversion can be two big things that can prevent you from taking the true steps towards your goal. It might be a bigger income. It could be growing a team. It could be expanding into a new business. It could be, meeting somebody and joining lives with them. It could be a lot of things. And that fear of change and risk aversion can hold you back. So I've shared with you, and we're not quite ready to talk so publicly about it, but I've shared with you that I've been asked to work on two major projects, and they're projects that I've never been involved in. I'm familiar with, but I've never been in it. And for myself as a coach, someone who teaches this, I will tell you the fear of change came up and risk aversion came up. I mean, I have a great life. I have great business. I have amazing clients. I've got great group coaching programs that are going on. Everything is really good. And I'm looking at these two other projects thinking it's going to require some change and it's going to require some risk. Am I really wanting to do that? And I had to coach myself through this to sit with the fact that if I want to grow and live a bigger life, which I do, I'm going to have to do something different. And so that allowed me to lean into embracing change and embracing the fact that risk is there. But if you don't take risks, you don't really grow. And so I was willing to step into it. Now, I will tell you, it has been quite the learning experience for me. And I'll share a little bit more about that as we go through this. But just know that to get outside of our comfort circle, we're going to have to address change and we're going to have to address risk. It's there, but the rewards are massive when you do it. The other thing that can hold you inside of that circle, behind that iron gate, if you will, is the impact of your social influences. So we tend to hang out with the same people, right? And those people are most likely in the same position as you are. And to think of leaving that group of people and doing something different can influence you not to step outside of your comfort circle. However, just like not taking risk and not being willing to embrace change, that group of people can be holding you back. I don't think anyone would be doing it intentionally. I really don't. However, I do think that there becomes a level of comfort with the people you're with, that you feel really good. You feel on equal grounds, equal footing. You don't feel like you're not smart. And we love that feeling, but it's really robbing you of opportunity. So with the two projects that I'm working on, I am working with people that I didn't know, that I knew of, they knew of me, but we're really having to get to learn and know each other. However, in the short amount of time I've been in this group, I'm being stretched and pulled and growing at levels that I would not have if I just would have stayed with my comfortable group of people that I was hanging out with prior to this. Not saying I've left those people behind, because I haven't. They're still part of my world. But this social influence that I was able to alter by stepping outside of it has really bathed me in incredible opportunity and growth and learning and lessons that I would have missed out on. So that's the number 4 thing that keeps you from stepping outside of your comfort circle, is when you don't leave it, you're missing out on opportunities and you're missing out on growth. And for me, that's just not an option for me. I always want new opportunities. I always want to be learning. I always want to be growing. One of my favorite mentors told me a long time ago that you never really slide into home plate with all of the answers. We're constantly evolving, we're constantly learning, we're constantly growing. For me, that speaks to my soul. I love that. And that requires stepping outside of the circle. So if you stay in it, you're missing out. That's really, in a nutshell, what it is. So again, for me, these 2 opportunities, if I would have said no, they would have happened. They 1000% would have happened. They just would have happened without me. And I would have missed out. In the short amount of time that I've been involved in these 2 projects, the phenomenal opportunities that have opened and the people that I've met and things that I never even was thinking about or considering have presented themselves to me. And I do not believe they would have had I not stepped outside of the comfort circle. So I'm going to ask you, what's out there that you're missing out on that you don't even know you're missing out on because you're not willing to step out and take a risk, step out, get uncomfortable, step out and learn and grow, step out and fail? Because along with change and risk comes failure. I've been stubbing my toe right and left working on these 2 things. And what I'm embracing is I'm learning. Lessons are in the failure. I'm learning. And it is, again, there's opportunities that have presented themselves that were not on my radar screen. I didn't even really know they existed. But because of the new group of people I'm hanging around with and spending time with, opportunities are showing up. It's the coolest thing. So don't rob yourself of the opportunity of learning and growing. I'm going to be completely transparent. And as you all know, I'm a big believer in thoughts drive all results and that we can manage our thoughts. And I will tell you, at certain times when things were getting really uncomfortable and I was faced with doing things that I'd never done before, that was big risk for me to do because publicly I could, fall on my face. I have been faced with self-doubt and limiting beliefs. It's just come up. I mean, I can tell you, I've heard myself say to me, "What were you thinking? Who do you think you are? This is not for you. This was not meant for you. It's meant for others. If you fail, you've damaged a lot of things." I mean, just the stories were going on and on and on. And I had to sit with my own resources and tools that I've shared with you. The thought flow model really came in big time, because until I dismantled the belief and the thought around self-doubt or limiting belief, and I just, was going to pretend and push it away and just push through, but they were always there and they're building steam as I was building forward. Had I not dismantled those, I firmly believe self-doubt and limiting belief would have derailed me from the success I've achieved working in these 2 new arenas. So if you're not familiar with the thought flow model, there's 2 episodes in the Mindset Architect. The very first episode, and I want to say it's episode 71 or 72, that talks about the thought flow model. That is the way you can quickly dismantle self-doubt and limiting belief. Because if you choose to take the route of, I'm just going to ignore it, push it aside, while you're moving forward, it's building speed as well with you. It's going to come back and hit you even harder because you haven't dealt with it. So go back and take a listen to those 2 podcasts. It will help you dismantle those thoughts and beliefs and make them thoughts and beliefs that are actually supportive. If you don't, I want you to think about this analogy. If I'm holding a beach ball that's known as self-doubt and limiting belief, and I choose to ignore it, and I hold that beach ball underwater. Can I hold it underwater forever? No. Is it a struggle at times to keep holding it underwater? Yes. Is it a distraction at times from keeping me doing what I'm wanting to do by trying to hold it underwater? Yes, it's a distraction. Will it pop out and smack me in the face? Yes, it always does, right? Think about all the times you try to hold a ball underwater, it always seems to pop out and find your face. That's what can happen if you don't address the self-doubt and the limiting beliefs and dismantle them and turn it around. So it's really important, if you're not familiar with the thought flow model, that you go and listen to those 2 episodes and learn how that model can help you dismantle when self-doubt and limiting beliefs come up. The other thing that can keep you inside that comfort circle is being of a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. So for me, I realized when I took on these projects that I needed to have a growth mindset. I needed to be open to learning new things. I needed to be open to going and finding a class or a program that I could get involved with that would help me grow in a way that I could grow along with the project, be willing to learn. So, of course, for me, the natural thing is to find a coach, because I believe, and I know this to be true as a coach, if I hire a coach who's already done the thing that I need the help with, my learning curve is going to be condensed, and I'm going to be more confident in what I'm doing moving forward because they've already done the thing that I want to do, and they can help me. They can share with me ways to do it. So I went out and hired 2 coaches, one for each project, and it was the best decision I made. And that's because I'm willing to stay in a space of growth mindset. I'm willing to admit, I don't know. I'm willing to admit I have no clue how this is going to pan out, and I really want it to work. So I'm going to be willing to learn and to grow. And I did so in hiring coaches. You may not be in the position to do that. So find a mentor, go to YouTube, do whatever you can do to learn and to always stay in a place of growth. A fixed or a closed mindset is supporting you in staying in that comfort circle and keeping you behind the gate that is enclosing you and keeping you from future opportunity. So, what do we do moving forward? First of all, show yourself some grace. If you are realizing right now that you've been playing small and that you're playing inside of this comfort circle and it's really inhibited you from the growth that you wanted for 2025 or the growth that you wanted in your life or whatever area it is, that you realize, hey, I have been in this comfort circle and I'm realizing now that I haven't really done anything that's made me uncomfortable or made me think differently or put me at risk, or I haven't experienced the growth that I wanted to experience as of yet in 2025. Just know that you're in the comfort circle and ask yourself, what's one step I can take just to get on the other side of the fence that is surrounding me from my opportunity? You don't have to go way out. I mean, you don't have to go from what you're doing to something that is absolutely insane amount of difference just to get outside of your comfort circle. You go right up against the border and experience tremendous growth. And in fact, that's what I would encourage you to do. That would be one of the first things I would encourage you to do, is to identify where your comfort circle is and just ask yourself, what is just right on the other side of that? Is it doing X behavior? Is it doing this new activity? Is it hiring a coach? Is it whatever it is? What is it? And step into it. That's how we're going to expand your comfort circle. At some point, this new activity that's making you uncomfortable, that's causing you to have self-doubt or limiting beliefs or make you question your sanity, at some point that's going to become comfortable again. And then we move it again. We go right outside of it and grow, and your comfort circle gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's your path to success. That's your path to goal. You have to remember, what you're doing right now that you're so comfortable with probably wasn't comfortable when you started doing it. I can tell you, my first 6 months of coaching, I was incredibly uncomfortable. I knew how to sell real estate. I knew how to sell real estate at a high level. I knew how to run a successful team. I knew how to watch a P&L. I knew all of that stuff, but I had never officially coached before, and I was extremely uncomfortable. And my comfort circle, I was just outside of it. The people I worked for were phenomenal. They didn't throw me in the deep end. They just put me outside of my current comfort circle. Well, in time, it became comfortable. And then my comfort circle grew. And by growing, that met my goals. It met a lot of things were changing for me. And once that got comfortable again, I challenged myself and I moved outside of it. And all it did was make my comfort circle grow over time. So right now, what is feeling so good about your comfort circle is just most likely the fact that you've done the activity or the behavior over and over and over and over to a level of mastery where it comes to you unconsciously. You could do it in your sleep, as they say. If that's where you are, draw the dot outside of your comfort circle and ask yourself, what are a few small things that if you did would make you uncomfortable and would get you growth? That's how we move forward. So I'm going to encourage you to think about the people you're spending time with. Think about if you introduced yourself to a couple of other people that are performing at a higher level or doing what you want to do at a different level than what you're doing it, what it would take to get inside that group of people and start expanding your comfort circle. It's going to be comfort circle, uncomfortable, all outside of it. But with time, what you're uncomfortable with will now become part of that comfort circle because it'll grow. That's where the greatest opportunity lies. So yes, your dreams are at greatest risk of dying if you stay inside the fence you've built around and built it as your comfort circle. Your dreams are at risk. I just don't believe, I don't know if I've ever met anyone that's like, yep, I'm done. I've achieved it. I'm done. I'm just going to stay right here. As human beings, we're always looking to expand or to grow. And so if you are resisting that, you are putting your dreams at risk. So I love that I was in the room when the person said, your comfort zone is where your dreams come to die, because that has made me think differently. It's made me very excited about the journey that I'm on with a couple new projects. And I wanted to come to you and challenge you as well to say, are your dreams dying? Are your dreams at risk? This is time for you to grow. I don't care what's going on outside in the world. I really don't. I can care about what I can do. I care about what I've got control over. And I care about that I'm stretching myself in a way that I am expanding, not contracting. And I'm willing to bet on myself and take the chance. If you have any questions about this or anything else, please feel free to reach out to me. Tony@rethinkcoaching.com is my email. You can find me on all of the social outlets, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, everything. You can go to our website, rethinkcoaching.com, and there is an information box that you can fill out your information, which will enroll you for a free 1-hour strategy session with me. And we can talk about this or anything else that might be challenging you right now that you would like to talk to a coach about. And it's free. It's free 1 hour. I'm not going to sell you on anything. I'm just going to work with you for that hour to help position you for what's next for you. All right, team, go make it a great week. Think about it. Are you in or are you going to step out of that comfort circle? Come join me on the other side. It's so much more fun. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.